Good morning. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief for April 21st, 2026. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is a great day. This is a great day in the history of Texas. All right. I know I'm all about being an American. Yeah. But I'm born and raised in Texas, and this is great. Okay. So on this day, April 21st, 1836, Texas won our independence. All right. And I'm going to read about it in just a minute. Okay. But we're going to start an experiment really quick. Okay. As everybody is going, okay, I'm live. Okay, good. All right. So I'm going to start a clock right now. If you're proud of Texas winning its independence, give me a Texas flag in the chat, please. Okay, so I'm starting my clock now. There we go. All right. So welcome to the podcast this morning. As we're getting started and ramp it up for everybody, click that follow button for me, please. If you're not already a follower, please do so. Just click that button. Then next to it, give me a thumbs up, like for the episode here, and then chat with us. I'm already asking y'all to chat with me and Co-Life for Life, my buddy right here in Coppers Cove, Texas. Um, and today, if you live in Virginia, this is your Independence Day. You need to go out and vote no on that referendum. If you value your independence in the Commonwealth of Virginia, you need to go vote no on that referendum right now. Okay? All right. So we have America 250 and we have Texas 190. Okay? So, like I was saying, 190 years ago today, Texas won our independence. So, briefly, in present day LaPorte or Deer Park, Texas, near the future city of Houston, around 800 to 900 Texian forces led by General Sam Houston launched a surprise attack on a larger Mexican army of about 1,200 to 1,500 men under General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. The Texians advanced silently across an open prairie using terrain for cover and struck about 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. while many Mexican troops were resting. Some accounts mention a siesta after exhausting marches. The battle cry was "Remember the Alamo, remember Texas, remember the Alamo, remember Goliad," referencing earlier Mexican victories that galvanized Texas' resolve. The battle lasted only 18 minutes. The Texian forces routed the Mexicans on a one-sided victory. The Texans lost 9 killed and 20 to 30 wounded. Mexican losses were 630 killed, 208 wounded, and 700 captured. And then Santa Anna was captured the next day dressed as a private until he was recognized from one of the other soldiers that recognized him and said, El Presidente. Okay? So that's what happened 190 years ago today. And then on that same spot, we have this the San Jacinto Monument. It's really cool. It's just like the Washington Monument, but it's taller and it has our Lone Star at the top. All right, you need to go visit that someday. But this is one of the greatest moments in Texas history and American history that what we did on April 21st. All right, so now onward to American history in 1776. Because before we can get to 1836, we had to survive 1776. All right, so give me an American flag in the chat. I'll give you. Oh, only gave 4 Americans. Okay, I meant to match the number of Texas flags. All right. Here's a letter from Colonel Henry Knox to George Washington on April 21st, 1776. Sir, agreeable to your Excellency's instructions, I tarried at Cambridge till all the ordnance and stores in my department were on the way to this place, which to my great mortification was not till the 14th. The detention was owing to the zeal of the General Assembly, which promised more than their activity could perform. In my passing through Providence, Governor Cook and a number of principal people were very pressing for me to take Newport in my way in order to mark out some of the defense for that place. The spirited conduct of the colony troops posted there in driving away the king's ships alarmed the whole colony for the safety of its capital. Knowing your excellency's anxiety for the preservation of every part of the continent, I conceived it to be my duty to act in conformity to your wishes, especially as I could get to Norwich as soon as the stores which set out for Norwich on the 14th. Accordingly, I went to Newport and marked out 5 batteries, which from the advantageous situation on the ground must have been executed to render the harbor exceedingly secure. In this, I humbly hope for your Excellency's approbation. Mr. Cheever, as expected, in this day arrived in with the powder and some stores, being the last division, which I shall endeavor to get away as soon as possible, and if the wind shall be fair, I propose going by water, if not by land. Lieutenant Colonel Burbick declined complying with your Excellency's orders, alleging that the province had settled on him 4 sterling a day for during life after the war was over, which if he went out of the province, he might perhaps lose. Lieutenant Colonel Mason, who came with the ordnance to this town, being in ill health, I permit him to go by land. I am going down to Admiral Hopkins to receive his directions concerning the safety of sending out the stores, as some of the king's ships yesterday chased in a vessel to New London, and also to endeavor to get the brass mortars which he brought from New Providence. If not particularly appropriated, I sincerely wish your Excellency very earthly blessing, and I am, with the greatest respect, your Excellency's most obedient and most humble servant, Colonel Henry Knox. All right, things are happening. They are happening in Virginia, in New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, all these areas. So I said Texas because that was 190 years ago. But yeah, so lots of things are happening on the fronts in the colonies, the United Colonies at this point, not the United States. All right. All right. Thanks a lot, Richard. Appreciate that American flag. Come on, some other people. Let's get some American flags going in there for us. All right. So Iran updates. Operation Epic Fury. This is day 14 of the ceasefire. Iran says it has new weapons. Okay, yeah, I believe that. Iran's largest bridge that we blew up is going to cost $23 million to rebuild or repair, one of the two. The A-10 Warthog, which has been effective over the Strait of Hormuz and with the recovery of those pilots in southwest Iran, their service life has been extended 4 more years to 2030. Maybe we should build more of them instead of getting these $200-300 million aircraft. Let's build some bare bones aircraft just like the A-10 and keep that going. Iraq and Syria to reopen their borders to create an alternate route for oil to be transported to the outside world. Russia said it detained 40 Israelis over Iranian links. The Israeli Defense Forces struck an imminent threat in Lebanon in the middle of their ceasefire, but they said it was an imminent threat to Israel. Round two of the peace talks are still pending. The vice president and Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are supposed to be leaving for Pakistan this afternoon, and there's been no word if the Iranians are leaving to go. I mean, it's a lot shorter trip. Pakistan said Iran will be there, so we will see what happens tomorrow, right? And then Brent crude oil right now is trading at $95.03 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate is trading at $86.83 a barrel. And the Dow Jones yesterday closed at 49,442.56. That was down 4.87. All right. So that's your Iran update for this morning on the JP's morning brief. Now onward to the rest of the brief. I got a whole lot of stuff here, but we know this is just mainly for this morning, and I'll go more into detail later on. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. It's already 6:41. If you're just joining us, please click that follow button to follow the podcast and give this episode a like. All right. Thank you very much. If you're proud to be an American or even a Texan, put an American flag or a Texas flag in the live chat, please. Okay. All right. So we're going to go over a few of the questions that they're talking about this morning in Virginia, like I was just talking about. If you live in Virginia, go vote no today. All right. How many times do I got to say that? Usually, in terms of marketing, you go to build muscle memory to remember something. You got to say it 7 times, right? For someone to actually build muscle memory and remember something. So I've already said it about 5 times today. So number 6, go vote no in Virginia. Go vote no in Virginia. All right. So what is going on? Okay, question 1. I'm going to go over just 3 of the questions, and then we'll go on to the rest of the morning brief. What exactly are Virginians voting on April 21st? This is from the Virginia Mercury. Okay, that's one of their newspapers. Virginians are weighing a proposed constitutional amendment that would allow the state to withdraw its congressional districts ahead of 2026 elections. The measure creates a one-time exemption to Virginia's current redistricting framework, which typically relies on a bipartisan commission and a court involved allowing the census. The amendment would give the General Assembly retroactive authority to approve new maps mid-decade under specific conditions tied to redistricting actions in other states. And then Democrats have emphasized that the change is temporary and designed to address shifting national political dynamics rather than to permanently alter the state's redistricting system. In other words, they want to disregard the intent of the people that live and vote inside of Virginia, that they decided in 2020 to take the hands of redistricting out of the hands of politicians and give it to the bipartisan commission. And if you look in the map that they're proposing, you will, within 15 miles, drive through 5 congressional districts. All right? That is the issue. Look at that map up in the Fairfax, Virginia area, and you will see 5 congressional districts within 15 miles of each other and a spider web through the rest of the state. You have one congressional district that starts in Fairfax, Virginia, and goes all the way to the border of North Carolina in Statesville. How in the world will that person that lives in Fairfax, Virginia, understand the concept of life of someone that lives way down there in Statesville? Because they don't. All right. Next question. Why is this referendum happening now? The referendum comes in response to an aggressive mid-decade response redistricting efforts in other states, particularly by Republican-led legislatures that took the action after President Trump called for partisan gerrymandering. He did not call for that. In Texas, to secure GOP victories in this fall's referendum. In Texas, we have no restrictions on when we can redistrict. It is totally up to the legislature when they want to do this and how they want to do this. In Virginia, they're restricted by constitutional amendment, which if it fails tonight, I can almost guarantee you tomorrow morning there will be a lawsuit filed. Okay, I wouldn't doubt if it filed 12:01 tonight. All right, next. Um, What exactly does the ballot question say, and why has its wording been controversial? The ballot question asks voters whether to approve a constitutional amendment allowing Virginia to redraw its congressional districts before the next census under certain conditions. But critics have taken issue with how the measure is described to voters, particularly language suggestion to restore fairness to the process. It says, so this is what it says. Should the Constitution of Virginia be amended to allow the General Assembly to temporarily adopt new congressional districts to restore fairness in the upcoming elections while ensuring Virginia's standard redistricting process resumes for all future redistricting after the 2030 consensus? Okay, fairness is what the key word is. How is this even fair if you look at the maps? Because the maps were already drawn before they passed the measure to go before voters. They So like I was saying, you have 5 congressional districts that go through 15 miles inside of Fairfax, Virginia. Not fair at all. Um, so we'll go some more of this later on. All right. So if you live in Virginia, go vote no. All right. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeMeter, DeRemer, I'm sorry, she resigned from the Trump administration yesterday, and Keith Sonderling has been named the acting labor secretary. She's leaving. The Trump administration will be temporarily replaced by Deputy Secretary of Labor Keith Sonderling. Sonderling, who serves under DeRemer, will become the agency's acting secretary. After her exit comes after a whistleblower complaint accused the labor secretary of an affair with a security guard, drinking on the job, and using her staff to fabricate official travel for personal trips at taxpayer expense. Enough said. I'm going to go to the next subject. She should have been fired a long time ago. All right. Any questions about that one? If not, we'll go on because there's more to this. Wow. I hope they extract the taxpayer expense money out of her and refund the government. All right. So, what time we got? It's already 6:49. Hold on just a second. Okay. Y'all hear my alarm? Okay. You heard when I started this, and that just went on. That 18 minutes. That's how long it took the Texas Army to defeat the Mexican Army in San Jacinto on April 21st, 1836. I wanted to do that on purpose so y'all could see how quickly we won our independence. All right? That was awesome. I thought about doing that all morning. That was great. I never thought of winning a battle in 18 minutes. So yesterday, the Supreme Court ruled 8-1. Um, Take a wild guess who was the only dissenting justice on this case dealing with the police. Take a wild guess. You only got 9 of them. Okay, but no comments. All right, we'll go from there. Okay, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson accused the Supreme Court majority on Monday of overstepping its role to wordsmith a lower court in Washington, D.C., in a pointed break from her colleagues in a Fourth Amendment case about whether a police officer had the reasonable suspicion to stop a man. Jackson, a Biden appointee, was the lone justice to defend the D.C. Appeals Court, which had found last year that the officer improperly stopped the man while he was in his vehicle. The Supreme Court reversed the rural court's decision 7-2. I thought it was 8-1. Approving the police stop. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, another one, there we go, an Obama appointee and the High Court's most senior liberal justice, also broke with the majority but declined to join Jackson's dissent, further isolating Jackson from as an outlier even among liberal justices, because she shouldn't even be on the Supreme Court. She is a DEI hire. She's not qualified. Ever, man. The Supreme Court's decision emphasized that the police officer has the broad ability to rely on a totality of the circumstances when making stops, noting that sometimes seemingly trivial standalone facts about a situation can be combined with more suspicious behavior to justify a reasonable suspicion for a police stop or an arrest. So this would be like broken windows policing up in New York, right? Where you see a broken window and you suspect something else may be up. So you go investigate the broken window. The Supreme Court ruled correctly in this matter itself. I don't know what's up with Justice Jackson, but she is totally wrong in this matter at all. You have to protect the lives of those police officers and protect the lives and the property of the people they are sworn to defend, okay? Remember, to protect and serve, all right? So, and then tomorrow, the Supreme Court, we're at 6:53. Tomorrow, the Supreme Court hears a case. It's an important one dealing with migrant parole about a guy that illegally came into the United States, was granted parole, and then eventually got a green card, broke the law, left, and then tried to come back. I don't understand why he would try to do something like that, but yeah, they're gonna go over this tomorrow in the Supreme Court. This is the last week of Supreme Court hearings, Supreme Court cases for this session, and starting in May and through June, they're going to be releasing opinions that they've heard all the way back to October. Okay, one big one is about redistricting, and then we will see what they say on that. But this deal about Virginia may be for nothing, because they may go in and say majority minority congressional districts are not legal inside the United States anymore, and Republicans may garner about 16 to 19 more congressional seats due to the fact that there'll be majority minority seats are no longer allowed. All right. That'd be a good one to hear tomorrow. I won't be able to do that. Oh my goodness, man! At 9 o'clock, I have a VA appointment in Temple, so I will be doing this tomorrow morning, and either by noon or by 1, I will do the next JP8 report. I may be late tomorrow afternoon. My appointment will only be about 15 minutes, so I got to drive 30 minutes to an appointment. Do an appointment that's going to last about 15 minutes. Get in my truck and drive all the way back home. Amen. Okay, we're talking about wasting gas. I cannot wait in 2029 when we get our new VA clinic here in Coppers Cove. All right, so it's 6:55. Give me a second here. We'll go over one more thing here. I'm going to get ready for the raid. Oh, look at that. We're going to go to Vince this morning on the raid, like I usually like to do. And he's going to be talking about Virginia. Okay, hold on. Let me get ready here. Okay, I'm all ready for it. So the last thing I want to talk about is... Okay, where is it? I can almost talk about it all by myself. Oh, there we go. Nancy Mace moves to expel fellow Republican Corey Mills, citing misconduct allegations. Corey Mills is a Republican. He is a stolen valor piece of trash that's manipulated his military record to get elected into Congress. Just like Richard Blumenthal and some other select members of the political class up there, right? But you know what? Yeah, that's right. I forgot to turn my volume down. Well, it's 6:57. So the House of Representatives could face another expulsion vote after Nancy Mace said she would seek the removal of an embattled Republican from Congress. Mace filed a motion to expel Representative Corey Mills on Monday evening. The measure is not privileged, so Mace could move to force the vote in the future. Mace's resolution, first obtained by Fox News, accuses Mills of misrepresenting his military service, sexual misconduct, campaign finance violation, and illicit involvement in federal contracts as a member of Congress, among other charges. The expulsion comes after reported on Monday. I don't know what notice is. The United States knew, or I don't understand what that was. On Monday, that Mills was drafting a similar resolution to remove Mace from the chamber. What? A spokesman said Mills did not immediately return a request for comment upon Mace's expulsion resolution or the status of the congressman's measure targeting Mace. As a survivor, I will always stand up for right and wrongs. Mace, who is running for governor of South Carolina. I would like to know what Mr. Mills is talking about. I will jump on that this morning and find out what that one's about. So what do y'all think about that? So we got Swalwell's gone, Gonzalez is gone, McCormick, she's about to be gone, Corey Mills is about to be gone, and there's something about, didn't they pass a law to make it not against the law to lie about your time? Didn't they pass a law to make it not against the law to lie about your time served? No. Stolen valor is definitely a legal offense. It is definitely. I do think it is. Maybe for certain aspects like the Medal of Honor or something. Because I got Covite for Life asking me this question. And maybe for certain medals of valor that it's a felony, but not everything. And what he did, he misrepresented a lot of stuff. Okay, I will try to get some more of that in here for this afternoon. All right. So it's 7 o'clock. Thank y'all very much for tuning in this morning. I will see y'all at noon. I'm executing the. I did it wrong again. Ugh. Oh, come on. All right. Let's do this again. Okay. The raid has been initiated. There we go. I will see y'all at noon. I'm out.